Well, hello everybody, this is Jasmine Gonzalez. Welcome to my channel. It's Monday, not December, January 17, 2022. These are my afternoon thoughts. Today, there is some snow around. I was expecting, when I got out yesterday out of work, I got out at 10 o'clock last night. They have me working a second shift, which I may or may not like too much, honestly. It's been shifting the way that I'm living, and honestly, it's not helping me in terms of like I cannot go to a gym because I get out too late. My gym is not open in the mornings. It's just like spending time to wake up around 9, and then by the time hits 1 o'clock, I have to be at work. So I really have time to do things. You know, you should have second shift is later than 1 o'clock, but like. At 1 o'clock you try a second shift in manufacturing the start on 3 o'clock and all that kind of stuff, so you get a little bit more time to do other things, but here I barely have enough time to do things. In all honesty, it sucks honestly, because it's like I can't go to a gym. Usually I go to a gym. I was going to a gym after work when I was working on the 9 to 6 schedule. They never notified me about this change. I just found out like, oh, now I changed my schedule because I want to have Fridays off. I have always had my availability open until like late night, because stupid retail work, they pretty much like want you to have a day's time that you're available to work, and if you put your availability less than a certain number, less than a certain time, you may or may not get the time that you request. So I tend to have my availability open until like past 10 o'clock, so that I can get hours. But I have never expected that I would be put to work in the afternoons, and that's usually what happens. And honestly, it just totally completely changed the way of living, you know, like, and in part it's like because some things are designed with the idea that people work only 9 to 5 or 8 to 5. Depending on how you want to view it, look at it. Like for example, there are meetings that I usually used to go for crime support group, you know, which is a good thing because transition is tough, and it's nice to have a group to go there and talk and figure out where you are at, and see where you can get support and all that kind of stuff. So it's usually the meetings are at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Now with this job, I cannot go and do that. Again, I mentioned the gym. You know, I used to go work on my job, and then I would go out to the gym after I was out of work. And now I cannot do that because my gym is in Albany, so it's a little bit farther away. So I've been affected by this schedule change. And I did the change because I've been dealing with depression, so I needed more time off. So I decided to no longer work on Fridays, but now this schedule doesn't seem to be working with me because of the fact that I get out at 10 o'clock. It's dark. I barely can cook in my apartment. I've been cooking what I can, but at the same time, it's a little bit tricky not to be able to cook. To cook at 10 at night. I'm trying not to make noise in the kitchen because my roommate, they are sleeping at that time, so it becomes a little bit more difficult for me to manage that. And honestly, it's a bit frustrating. I was used to the 9 to 6 schedule, and all of a sudden, like, boom, schedule change, and I don't like it. I really don't, honestly. I really don't like it. And even eating, like, I'm having a little bit of like eating at 10 o'clock at night is not advisable, and I'm doing it. Sometimes I forget to eat before I go to my shift, and then I'm hungry by the time I have to go on my lunch break. I really don't like it. It's screwing up my eating habits, screwing up my sleeping habits, and also it's screwing up my personal life pretty much, you know. That was not the intent that I was expecting, and it just totally completely sucks, honestly. At the same time, This morning, what did I do this morning? I applied to some jobs, so hopefully I will get a interview to one of the jobs. We'll see. Honestly, like, I applied to some manufacturing jobs. I do like manufacturing, and we'll see if at least I can get an interview out of those jobs that I apply, and maybe get a different job this year. I wish there was a change. One of the things that I enjoy working in one company, they used to have 10-hour shifts, and I kind of enjoy that because every Friday I was off, and I'm like, why people don't do like 10-hour shifts? I don't get it. I wouldn't mind doing 10-hour shifts. I think that would be okay. And they have next 3 days off. That's just fantastic. There was one time that I was working at, I used to work for the EPA at one point, the United States Environmental Protection Agency, as an environmental engineer, and as an the agency offered the opportunity to work on a compressed work week schedule, and it was interesting because every other week I will have a day off, and to me it was interesting because I'll be working Monday through Friday one week, 9 hours. The next week I'll be working 3 days, 9 hours, one day, 8 hours, and then I will have the day off. So that was quite interesting. I really enjoyed that program, the press work week. At least for us, office work, it works fantastic in my opinion. It allowed me a day to have off. I could an extra day off to do other things. Usually I will go to a movie theater. I like going to a movie theater, so I will be like in the movie theater watching 2 or 3 movies, 2 movies at least. That was the maximum that I was able to watch. Always, even during my master's degree, when I was finishing my master's degree in Puerto Rico, I used to go to a movie theater, and I will watch sometimes like 2 movies. Like I will go watch one at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and then I will, if the time was right, I will be able to catch another movie from 10 to midnight. And next day, wake up and go to school, or to my project, or take my class and go study. There wasn't much to do in Puerto Rico, to be honest with you, and I really didn't have much of a social life. I was like starting doing homework, had to do, I took a break, had to work on my project, tried to work on my project. But also I tried to find other things to do because it wasn't always like, it cannot be work and work all the time, Definitely it just sucks that sometimes like companies expect you to work like way more than what you're getting hired for, but anyway, I don't know. I've been thinking because like I know that I got my printout of how much money I'm going to get paid this week. This week is a payday, and I look at how much I'm going to get this week, and I'm not happy about the amount of money that I'm earning, especially because of people getting sick. Now that comes down, my hours got affected a little bit. We closed earlier, and we're allowed to leave early, our work, our jobs. And to me, I made a mistake of leaving early, so I got paid less than what I usually get every 2 weeks. So I saw the check going less than what I should be earning, honestly, and that's bad. That's really bad, honestly. Hopefully this week I can maintain the hours, because I really need to work as many hours as I can. At least 32 hours, that's not bad. Even though I should be working more hours in my opinion, but 32 hours is not that bad. It's more than enough. If I had 8 more hours, then it would be like 40 hours total, But I think I want to keep it at 32. But if I cut my lunch break to half an hour, then I can work an extra half an hour, and then I will have 8.5 hours every day. Close to 9 hours, so I will be okay. But yeah, this shift is not my favorite shift. I have to admit it. I rather work 9 to 6. Sometimes I can stay until 7 if I need to. But yeah, the 1 to 10 is just eh. And it's not working for me, the 1 to 10 shift. But considering that some of my coworkers, they go to school, they want to be at home early, and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I think I'm stuck there because I'm the only one that has a lot of availability right now. Some people also depend on the boss too. But again, it's the nature of the job because most of this job is supposed to be part time. I'm not part time. I work full time because that was the thing that I told them. I'm not going to work for part time here unless I get full time hours. And when I got hired full time, now I'm a full time employee. So I can work up to 40 hours. I expect my hours to be like standard because of that, But again, it's the need that I need. I don't want to have to find another job. And honestly, I've been trying to find another job and I haven't been able to. Even trying to mix 2 jobs. I was working still in Monroe, trying to fit some hours in between. And Monroe, they wanted me to work more days there. Even the pay rate was less, and it was just like, oh, my weekends I'm going to be working all the time because the other place wanted me to work weekends too. So it's like a counterbalance, Do I want to be working on weekends all the time, or do I want to have weekends off to be able to do other things? Especially with wrestling, I like to have weekends. Certain events happen on weekends, so like being working on weekends all the time, it's not feasible to me. So I did another retail job or a job that I have to work on weekends. It sucks. It's difficult. It's like I can't. I don't want to. Honestly, I want to have a weekend too to go to events or things like that. Especially for wrestling, being able to travel for wrestling. Honestly, I haven't gone into any other events or anything like that, concerts, things like that. But like, usually on weekends you get more activities happening. So like it's nice to have one day of the weekend to relax, because during the week you don't get to see many things during the week, so it is what it is. It's a balance, it's a counterbalance. So that's what I like about my job, that at least Walmart, they only care about you giving them one day of the weekend. There are other places, there are other companies, like I know Home Depot. When I was working at Home Depot, I tried to tell them like, oh, can I only work one day of the weekend? They are, nope, we need you Saturday and Sundays. And that really sucked, honestly, because it's like, okay, so how can I manage this, And if I have a wrestling show, and how can I travel time, to a wrestling show? It's like, will get affected because then I have to wake up at a certain hour to be at work, then go immediately after work. So it becomes a little bit of a mess, and I don't know, I personally didn't like that. So I'm more happy working one day of the weekend. That's it. I give you one day of the weekend, I'm not going to give you 2 days. That's really ridiculous. So yeah, and it's interesting because I've been talking to a lot of people lately too about this. That our society, that is really depressing, that sometimes you have to work 1 or 2 jobs just to be able to make ends meet, but then it's like you barely have time to enjoy life, to pursue things that makes you happy, to just relax and enjoy life for a little bit. No, it's always about going to work, producing, and all that kind of stuff. The world is really ridiculous, honestly, and true, people that have money, they enjoy life and that kind of stuff. Especially the problem is like the jobs that don't offer too many benefits. You are stuck in this dichotomy that you always have to work, and if the income is not enough, like the problem that we're having is simple in this country. Cost of living have increased too much. Like even rent in New York, like the rent for one apartment, even in Albany, is close to $700, past $700, close to $1,000 for one bedroom apartment. So right there, $1,000 a month. Like right now, my income is $17 an hour. Every 2 weeks I get about $1,000 of rent. That is half of the rent at $17 an hour. After they take taxes for a single person like me, after after they take taxes is $1,000. So every 2 weeks, and I'm talking because I get paid bi-weekly. So you have an apartment that bedroom apartment for a person like me to be independent and live on my own. I have to come up with $1,000 or more to pay rent for one bedroom apartment, which is totally insane. It's totally completely insane. So for me, with the job at Walmart, that's half my income, half my net income that will have to go on rent alone, which is insane. It's stupidly insane. It's stupidly high. However, my wage is average pretty much. So it's not feasible for me to go on to go and get an apartment for myself because I cannot freaking afford it. And then what's left? Okay, so find a job that pays more money. Right now I'm getting paid $17 an hour, but there are other jobs that they manufacture, which sometimes used to be paying good wages, or so I thought. Now they want to pay sometimes less than the job that I have at Walmart. And then the excuse like, oh, but this is a very entry level. And it's like, fuck off. Like, entry level my ass, Walmart is entry level and they pay me $17 an hour. What's your excuse? You don't want to have workers. I mean, and then those employers probably go and complain like, oh, we cannot find workers to work. Well, of course not. It's the miserable wages that you're paying, So, like serious, and that's the thing, like I need a better job if I want to be able to have my own a place for my own, that I live alone. I need income. I need enough money to be able to counterbalance, because they said that rent should be 1/3 of your income. Like no apartments up here, no apartments for single person are on 1/3 of my income, and it sucks. Totally, completely sucks. And then you need to have a car sometimes because public transportation is not the best around here. So then you have to worry about gases and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a very weird dichotomy, where we have that you have to work so much just to be able to make ends meet, and then you're working and working, and you barely have time for yourself, and that's what is happening. I think is contributing for people to get discouraged lately after the pandemic, because we're forced to go home. Some of us were laid off, and we realized like, well, I got time to do other things. Oh wow, I didn't realize that I could get back into this. I missed probably be able to have time and do this, Now we're realizing that there are other things more important in life than work all the time. And that is going to change what our economy is going to change how employers do business, because people are not going to be willing to let go of what they have discovered again, of being able to have time to pursue other interests and other things that they love doing. That's my take on things, And life should be about balance, honestly. Like, if you are passionate about your job and your job doesn't feel like your job, good for you. You found your calling, you are happy. But I think for most people that work under somebody, we're not happy with what we have, We're not happy with what we have, Having to work excessive hours just to make ends meet, it's not cutting it anymore. It's stupid. We're overworked, we're tired. Life could be better, and honestly, it's not going to be better unless we start changing things. And the way to change things is by taking control of our lives. If that means cutting our hours at work, we have to do that. It cannot be work all the time. At some point or another, employers have to realize that. You cannot demand workers to continue working for misery wages, because I think everybody's tired of that. Everybody's tired of like, I'm spending more time at work. I got a life outside of work, and I have to be more time at work than I can to enjoy my life, or to enjoy family time, or to spend time with family, and people dying and losing family members, like it's pretty much like losing time that we have for ourselves, time that we have to enjoy ourselves, to grow. Maybe we want to learn a new skill or something, like yeah, this past weekend I got to work on me making crafts and learning how to work with a Cricut, Joey. And I did some artwork, and I realized like, ooh, this was fun. I enjoy doing this, That's what I like about life. I need that mental motivation. My job to me doesn't give me that mental work. Doesn't I like learning new things. I like pushing myself to learn new things. My job doesn't give me that, My job doesn't allow me time for that. My job is just about like taking care of the company needs, customers, all that kind of stuff, which to me is not. It doesn't empower my mind, So I need to do something to feel more empowered by working on crafts, working on projects, at home learning. I like learning, so I need to pursue those things. So otherwise, I feel unhappy. And taking care of myself, cooking. I love cooking. Like I enjoy eating healthy, mostly because I'm an adult. I'm past my 40s, so eating healthy is important, especially when I have a heritage of high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, all that kind of stuff. So I have to take care of myself, and to take care of myself, I have to have time for that. So when a job is like, some people even suggest to me work another job, and it's like, why? How am I going to be able to manage my life? Oh, you have to eat out or things like that. I don't want to eat out. It's expensive. It will cost money for me to be able. I also will have to spend gas and go into another place to work. So it's not. It cannot be always work, and work. Unless you are doing what you are passionate about. If you are doing what you are passionate about and you enjoy your life, awesome. But also there has to be a balance when it comes to a work life, and everybody should deserve a balance in their work life. Even low wage workers, even people that work retail, people that work in manufacturing, they deserve also a balanced life. They deserve time for themselves. They deserve time to enjoy life too. It cannot be work, and work. This thing of like overworking the workforce just because is ridiculous. It's disgusting, and that's why things are changing, because we're realizing like, look, we're putting way too much hours at work. We're unhappy. The way that we can fix this is by increasing wages, so we can work less and we can have time for ourselves. And you know what? If manufacturing doesn't have enough people, that's something that they have to figure out. But you cannot just expect a workforce to continue giving more and more and more and not get anything back, because I think we are just tired of that. And that's my thought for today. That's how I feel myself too whenever I'm like, I used to work. There was one time I was working like two jobs. I was working for New York State, and I was working for LensCrafters part-time every other Sunday. I used to go 2 weeks working non-stop without a break, without having a day off, and I was okay. But then I began burning out, and I burned out to a point that now it's like I would give only 40 hours, and if I can't make it with 40 hours, I don't want that job. I will find something that pays more money, so that way I can work less. Why? Because I have realized that life is not only about work. When I'm at work, I'm over there. I don't have time for myself. I don't have time to enjoy life at all. I'm just like focused on work. I have to focus on work. So that's been my thinking. And right now, even with 40 hours, I decided to cut my hours so I will have an extra day off for me. Because to me it would be easy if I can get 10-hour shifts here, but I don't think employers have thought about that. I give them my 40 hours in a different way, in 4 days instead of like having to work 5 days, and I can have an extra day for me to do other things that are important to me or things that I enjoy doing, instead of having to be at work for 5 days a week. Anyway, that's how I got. Peace, everybody. Stay safe.